Here we go. Module 4 of Simplified SEO, the Google formula. We've broached on a few of Google's free tools and a whole lot on what Google wants from us with our websites. So we're going to call this ranking factor number 8 and sum it all up. So we've got Google Search, we have Google Maps, and we have Google My Business. Those are the three big kind of tools in our toolkit, and also forward-facing or customer-facing viewpoints for us when someone is looking for our business or possibly our services or offering. So we need to manage the heck out of the first one here, which is the Google My Business page. And I say manage the heck out of because it's not hard, it's just so overlooked. And the reason that GMB is like my absolute favorite, I'm going to call it a social platform even. It's a content tool, is because it's not a beast that you constantly have to feed new content into every day, every week, like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. It is like, build it, set it up properly. It takes an hour to create your page descriptions and, get your locations in order, and then add your kind of business categories, and then ideally a few products if you can. But you're going to then go back and manage your reviews, add photos occasionally when they come in or as the photos are created, and create a post on there like once a week. You can create an update that does wonders for your SEO and just gives you a richer snippet in the SERP. But you don't have to constantly, babysit it every single day. When you have optimized or just basically properly set up your GMB page, you're going to really see that you've got some great tools and inroads on your localized search, as we've been talking about a lot. And it can also help your globalized search too, just bigger, broader search results. The thing about GMB is that everything we do in there allows us to appear in Google Maps. And depending on your industry, but for many of us, this is relevant, that when someone is out and about and they're looking for something, whether it's a physiotherapist, a dog trainer, a spot to have lunch, or a place to wash their car, they're using maps more than ever. Google Maps is so well traveled, so well built, and this is where we can see so much information. If I Google restaurants Banff, while I'm on my way there, it's going to show me restaurants in Canmore. It's going to show me restaurants in the Banff outskirts. Or I can say right in there and get straight to the heart of Banff. It's going to show me hours, reviews, top results, images. It's going to give me so much, and I'm still just in Google Maps. It's crazy. So I'm going to hit home again. I really encourage you to get to know your GMB page, optimize it properly, and then just watch your localized search and your appearance in maps soar. Super important. So thank you, Google, for creating GMB. That one you nailed. We need to also know what metrics to measure. So when we're thinking about our Google Analytics, remember that we need to have our analytics firing. We need to have this properly set up. And all it takes is creating your Google Analytics account and then pulling your little Google Analytics tag. It's like 10 characters, and you're placing that into your website. And for most websites, as you can see in our website class, it is just a matter of copy pasting it into the spot that says Google Analytics tag or tracking pixel. For some of us with a more customized site, we have to import it ourselves or manually paste it into the header tag of every single backend page of our site. But either way, now Google can send you the information about the people that land on your site. Same thing, where they came from, how long they stayed, what they did, who they are. So we also need to know beyond those metrics what it is that our site is doing in Google's eyes. So the organic traffic over time, organic versus paid, how is that changing? Those keyword rankings, which you may have to go into Google Keyword Planner to see how those rank and whether or not you're using the right ones. External links and referring domains. This is also visible in your Google Analytics to see who's referring in and out. And it's more visible in your Google Search Console, which we'll look at in a second. Page load time, bounce rate, pages per session. These are all really kind of cool things to know, but they may not matter. Which metrics matter to you at which point in your business or season, and then pay attention to those. Google cares about them, and so should we. But also, if we don't know what we're measuring, it's really hard to improve. So setting up your GA account, it gives you a giant moving database that's always updated all the time and can really help have some method to your madness and your efforts. All right, so once you have Google Analytics firing, once you've done your site speed test and your mobile friendly score and you have your Google My Business set up, I really encourage you to consider starting or just creating an account on Google Search Console. So it is not nearly as old or well established as Google Analytics, but if Google Analytics is telling us who's coming to our site, what they're doing when they get there, and basics of how our site is performing, Google Search Console is telling us every single technical detail about our site and how it's performing on a deeper level. So we're going to see broken links. We're going to see any kind of, again, in and outbound links that are connected to our site. We can see any kind of security issues or how the crawlers are seeing our site. We could pull our site index and load it up into Google Search Console to say, don't worry, crawler, I got you. Here it is in advance. This is my site index. Please follow these 8 pages, not these 10. And there's my sitemap. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It's a simple file that you can upload into your Search Console. So a lot of different things here that then can help us, change and manufacture or manipulate a little bit our SERP and how we're appearing in SERP, how our page titles are trafficked or indexed, etc. Finally, we want to think about if we were to create a report, let's say you owed yourself or your boss or your team some kind of website traffic snapshot. You can pull a few things, whether they're screen grabs or it's a report out of Google Analytics with those most important metrics. In our case, yeah, it's sessions. I care about that monthly or quarterly or whatever my benchmarking time frame is. And how many unique users, so new versus returning. The page views, how that's changed or gone up or down. So that's more than just, overall sessions, but individual page views. What's my bounce rate and how can I attribute a higher bounce rate to sometimes more than others? If I'm running a lot of paid social ads that get people there and it's to a big, broad audience, they might bounce higher or more frequently than if I'm not running ads and the people that are coming to our site are genuinely more hot or warm repeat customers or interested leads, and they're not leaving quite as quickly saying this isn't for me. And then the session duration. I love that metric because if we get that up over 2 minutes, man, are we ever doing our job. We want people to stick around. We want them to get lost in our content and not confused, but like deeply reading our blog posts and following their user journey to see how many page clicks they have. And, how many times they're returning, how quick they get to checkout, etc. So what are the metrics that matter to you? You can put through a little report. Another one here, this is kind of a sub-factor or report, would be the SEO Organic Snapshot. So how have your organic searches changed over time? And that means, again, that people are finding you without paid ads. They're finding you through your organic SEO efforts because you're now showing up in search. And that's rising month over month. Amazing. What's your average position? And you can learn this from Google Keyword Planner as well as analytics. So where are you showing up in your industry? And, are you proud of that? Are you improving? How is it ranking in a crowded or a not crowded field? Your click-through rate, your clicks in general, all of these things. And then you may want to create some kind of insights to it yourself. I love the blend of like actual analytics, the hard data metrics that we get from all of these tools, as well as the anecdotal analytics, which I just quoted earlier. I know that I get more bounce when we have these ads going on, or we know that our page views are longer when we're running a program, etc. So important to have kind of some of your own anecdotal information and understandings as to why the trends that you're seeing are taking place. So brand search queries, non-brand search queries, also really good to keep track of. We can learn this from analytics. And then, my friend, it is your turn. I want you to try and think about your own keywords, tags, and titles. This is super important. If we've done a bit of a search audit and we understand how we're appearing or not, now it's time to think about implementing keywords and actioning them into our website in the right ways. So what are the keywords associated with your business? Use the research if you have to. Think about your competitors and see what maybe search terms you're missing. I love going into Google My Business, finding a competitor and seeing their description in Google My Business, which is a really tight description of their business. And if they're outranking me in GMB or on maps, sometimes it literally comes down to their descriptions and business categories, which is really interesting. A lot of us aren't using those quite properly. It's the most important GMB factor. And then what are the most important keywords from the list you identified, and what would you yourself find useful, or what would you use to search yourself or your business? Are you using them, and where can you start to weave them in? And it could just be weaving them in blog titles for now, but maybe you can adjust or start to implement a little bit more in your page copy. Make it more about the language of your user, solving their problems, less about the language of your industry or any kind of, cliched jargon terminology that your users are not searching with. Finally, we're going to end on the idea of conversion psychology. So this is the idea that our website is emotionally connecting with people, so that when we do get them there, they convert, they take action, the kind of meaningful actions we want them to take. And if it's not a purchase, because we're not e-commerce, they've subscribed, or they've clicked the contact field, or they've submitted their phone number or booked an appointment, or they've just read a ton of your blog posts and stuck around for a long time. Those might be your conversion metrics. So the number one reason we don't get there is that websites lack focus. And as a dummy user who doesn't know what you're about, doesn't speak your language, has no idea if this is my solution, but I've been led here, I need you to tell me what to do next. I need it to be clear. I need it to solve my problems and speak my language. And then it needs to be crystal clear what step I take next in the journey, so that I'm not left wondering, where is it from here? What do I do? So each page must do two things: either help the user accomplish one specific task, or make the next step easy to access. So vital steps to optimize for SEO. We want to choose the right keywords. We want to have the optimal site content, clean and organized site structure. We want to find places to build great backlinks from, which again are those offsite links that come in and out. And then we want to build a wide network of quality links and just continue to think about where we can find these. You've got a guest podcaster? Great. You're going to link to their website. You've got some kind of new supplier who's doing this really cool stuff. Well, of course, you're going to blog about that. You were just featured in the Edmonton Journal? Absolutely. You're going to post that link on your blog or on your website. We want to monitor our rankings and especially organic search results over time, and then rinse and repeat and continue to iterate. Some people see SEO as like the end-all, be-all, top-shelf marketing strategy, and that's great. And others aren't even thinking about it. But if you're building all this beautiful content and not being found, it is kind of like screaming at nobody or talking to no one. So at the end of the day, all committed high-quality SEO actions lead to conversions and actions that drive bottom-line results, whatever that is for you. So it's conversion, not traffic, that drives success online and certainly grows our business goals and our overall success. I hope that helps. I wish you so much success in your SEO journey. And whether you're just getting started, whether you're a big team or a solo, you've got this. It is fun to get into. Simple things can make huge differences, and it doesn't have to take months and months or years to see those pay off. I hope to see you in the next lab, which is audience mapping. That is course number 304 in our 360 series. And I really look forward to seeing you then, and wish you so much luck in your SEO.